Okay, so have you ever heard like one of those crazy stories about, a pet getting into some kind of trouble?
Oh, all the time. And you're just like, oof, good thing they have pet insurance.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're talking about today. We're doing a deep dive into pet insurance, specifically Southern Cross pet insurance here in New Zealand. We've got like their whole info pack, some articles comparing different providers, all that good stuff.
It's a good idea to really look into it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different options out there, and to be honest, it's not always the most exciting topic, but it
Uh,
can really save you a lot of stress later on and money.
totally. So Southern Cross, they're like a big name, but what do they actually offer?
Well, they've got two main types of plans. They have pet care, which is like their comprehensive plan, and Axipet, which is accident only.
Hmm.
So pet care covers, illnesses, surgeries, even some alternative therapies.
Okay.
And then Axipet is more for like, if they get a bump or a bruise or, well, an accident. Right, right. Okay, so that makes sense. But like, what does comprehensive really mean? Like, what are some examples of stuff that's actually covered?
So think of it like if your pet needs to go to the vet and it's not something they already had before you got the insurance,
Hmm.
it's probably covered under pet care. So that's things like broken bones, tick paralysis, allergies.
Wow, of
There's some things they don't cover, of course, so you always want to read that fine print.
course.
But yeah, they try to cover pretty much everything.
Yeah, okay, cool. That sounds pretty reassuring. So what about Axipet? Like, what counts as an accident when we're talking about pet insurance?
Well, I mean, it's more than just like tripping over their own feet. It's things like if they swallow something they shouldn't, or if they get bitten by another animal,
Oh,
or even, unfortunately, if they get hit by a car,
yeah.
anything that's like sudden and unexpected
Yeah.
that needs a vet, that's usually covered.
Okay, so those are like those situations where pet insurance is like a lifesaver.
Totally.
Both, for you and your wallet and your pet.
Hmm.
But let's be real, like insurance can be pricey.
Yeah.
So what about costs with Southern Cross?
Well, you might be surprised to hear that their accident-only plan, that Axipet one, it starts at less than $1 a day,
Really?
which is pretty good. It's definitely good peace of mind, especially when you think about how much an emergency vet visit could cost.
Less than $1 a day. That's like
No.
less than my morning coffee.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about the comprehensive one, the
Hmm.
pet care one? That's got to be a lot more, right?
It is more, yeah, because it covers more stuff.
Right.
But even then, it's still, I think, pretty affordable for a lot of people.
Okay.
And both plans have a benefit limit of $15,000 per year,
Oh, wow.
which is a lot.
$15,000, that could cover some serious vet bills.
But how does Southern Cross compare to other pet insurance companies here in New Zealand? Are they like a good deal? That's a good question. That's where it's really helpful to look at some independent research.
Okay.
So, some places talk about Southern Cross having a really good reputation and great customer service.
Right.
And then others say that some other companies might be a bit cheaper or have more flexible options. So it really just depends on what you're looking for and what's important to you.
So it's a good idea to like shop around, get some different quotes like you would for any other kind of insurance.
Exactly, yeah. Don't just go with the first thing you see.
Right.
Take a little time, compare some different companies, read some reviews,
Yeah.
see what fits your budget and what your pet needs.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I did see that Southern Cross mentioned something called free cover for puppies and kittens. What is that?
Oh, yeah, that's a great thing, especially if you're just getting a new pet.
Yeah.
It's basically 6 weeks of free insurance for puppies and kittens between 6 and 26 weeks old.
So it's kind of like a safety net for that time when they're little and they're probably going to get into trouble.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not just for like little things either. It's up to $2,000 worth of coverage.
Really?
So that could be really helpful if your new little buddy needs to go to the vet unexpectedly.
Okay. So that's a pretty good offer. I am curious about the claims process, though, because
Yeah.
nobody wants to deal with a bunch of paperwork when their pet is sick or injured. So, like, how easy is it to actually make a claim with Southern Cross?
They've actually made it super easy. You can do it all online, even from your phone,
Oh, nice.
which is super convenient. And they're pretty fast with their reimbursements, too. Usually takes about 3 working days.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
3 working days. That's pretty good. I've heard, like, some insurance companies can take weeks, even months,
Yeah.
So that's good. They've got that sorted.
Yeah, and they actually have like a whole team that you can call if you have any questions or you need help with the process.
Oh, nice.
So it's nice to have that extra support, especially when, it can be a pretty stressful situation.
Right. Okay, so they've got the plans, they've got the claims process. What about, you mentioned some extras before, like stuff that's beyond the actual insurance.
Right, yeah. So they have this thing called the Pet Hub, and it's basically just a bunch of resources for pet owners.
Okay.
It's got articles and tips and advice on, everything from food and exercise to like training and behavior.
Oh, cool. So it's kind of like having like a pet expert just like there whenever you need them.
Pretty much. And it's not just like general stuff either. It's specific to like different breeds and ages and even lifestyles.
Oh, wow.
So whether you've got a brand new puppy or an older cat or like a super energetic working dog, there's something in there for you.
I love that they're like actually going that extra mile to help people take care of their pets.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they're not just an insurance company. They're like invested in your pet's well-being, kind of.
Exactly. And, speaking of well-being, we haven't really touched on like one of the biggest reasons why people get pet insurance in the first place. Oh, right.
And that's peace of mind.
Yeah, yeah. Just knowing that, like, you're prepared if something happens.
Exactly.
That you can, like, make the best choices for your pet's health without having to worry about, like, the money side of things.
Yeah, exactly. Because let's be honest, vet bills can get really expensive.
Yeah.
And when your pet's sick or injured, you don't want to have to think about how you're going to afford their treatment.
For sure.
Just
Like, you want to focus on getting them better, not like, how am I going to pay for this?
Exactly.
So, yeah, pet insurance, it takes away that worry. So you can just, like, make the best decision for your pet,
Exactly. And that's a really good feeling.
Yeah, it is. So we've covered a lot. We've talked about the different plans, the claims, the Pet Hub thing, even just the emotional benefits of having pet insurance.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say are, like, the key takeaways for people listening? Well, I think the main thing is pet insurance, it's an investment in your pet's health and your own peace of mind.
Yeah.
It's not just about those, like, really big unexpected costs. It's about having that safety net for all the little things that can add up over time, too.
Right, because even just like regular checkups, vaccinations, medications, like
Yeah.
those all cost money.
Exactly, yeah. And then another thing is do your research, choose the right plan for you and your pet. Don't just go for the cheapest one or the first one you see,
Yeah.
Take some time to compare, read some reviews, think about what you need in your budget.
Exactly. Like just like any other kind of insurance, you want to make sure you're getting what you need at a price that works for you.
Right.
But I feel like there's like even a bigger message here beyond just the practical side of things.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's about recognizing that our pets are more than just pets. They're family.
Yeah.
And we want to give them the best care, just like we would for anyone else in our family.
And pet insurance, it gives you the ability to do that. Like, say yes to treatments and procedures that could make their lives better or help them live longer.
Yeah, exactly. Give them the care they deserve without worrying about the money. And that's a really great thing.
It is. It is. So I think it's something that, all pet owners should consider, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've been talking about Southern Cross specifically, but there are other good pet insurance companies out there, too.
Right, yeah. And, have a look at all of them, see what works best for you and your pet.
Okay, so for anyone listening who's like on the fence about pet insurance or maybe hasn't really thought about it much before, what would you say to them? Pets. Okay, so for anyone listening who's like on the fence about pet insurance or maybe hasn't really thought about it much before, what would you say to them?
I'd probably just ask them to, like, imagine, what if their pet suddenly needed really expensive vet care?
Yeah.
Could they afford that?
Right.
Without having to make, like, tough decisions.
Oh.
And if the answer is no, or even maybe, then it's probably worth thinking about pet insurance.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not about like whether you think it's going to happen. It's just about being prepared.
Exactly.
Because, none of us can predict the future.
Nope.
Accidents happen, illnesses happen, even to like the healthiest pets.
Yeah. And having pet insurance, it can just make those unexpected moments so much less stressful.
Right, like you feel more in control.
Exactly, yeah.
Like you can actually like handle whatever comes your way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you've got their back no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Southern Cross, they do have like a ton of info on their website if you want to learn more about, your plans and all that.
Yeah, definitely. Check it out. They even have a tool where you can get a quote, based on your pet.
Oh, cool.
It's really handy.
Awesome. Well, this has been like a really interesting look into pet insurance.
Yeah, it has.
Not the most, exciting topic, but definitely
For sure,
important.
for sure.
And hopefully, everyone listening has gotten something out of it.
I hope so.
A good info to help them make decisions about their pets.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And to everyone listening, whether you get pet insurance or not, just, love your pets, take good care of them.
That's the most important thing.
And they give us so much.
They do.
So we got to get back to them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. To happy, healthy pets.
Cheers to that.